He inked a $28 million enforcement deal and produced absolutely nothing. There's no evidence of any action taken. Zero interactions, no endorsements, no social media presence, no environmental efforts. Kawhi Leonard now finds himself entangled in what could be the most astonishing scandal in NBA history. The star forward has reportedly received a lifetime ban due to a $28 million fraudulent scheme. And he's not the only one facing consequences. Let's dissect this. The documentation that unveiled all. Kawhi Leonard, the elusive two-time NBA champion, known for his reserved presence, has emerged as one of the game's most intriguing figures, now caught in a situation that might unfold into the most catastrophic salary cap scandal the league has ever faced. This narrative doesn't start with Leonard. It begins with the downfall of a little-known company that only gained notoriety under intense investigation. In March 2025, a green banking firm named Aspiration declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, leaving a wake of shattered commitments, swindled investors, and a creditor list that would ultimately reveal one of the most intricate plots in the realm of professional sports. My goal was to locate the Aspiration's bankruptcy document, and I've managed to do that. I need to grab that file right over there. Is this the one? Indeed, it is. Within this envelope, there lies a hint. Pablo Torre, an investigative journalist, unearthed a crucial detail hidden in bankruptcy papers that would alter everything. KL2, a limited liability company, had a debt of $7 million. Upon delving into the seemingly mundane company name via California Secretary of State database, Torre discovered a link that prompted a 7-month inquiry, yielding over 3,487 pages of documents, contracts, and proof. This LLC was registered under Kawhi Leonard, utilizing his jersey number 2, signifying the final chapter of an extensive endorsement agreement with a firm claiming to save the environment by planting trees. However, this was far from an ordinary endorsement contract. It was organized in a manner that could prompt even the most experienced contract professionals to pause in surprise. To grasp the significance of this revelation, we must analyze the firm embroiled in this controversy. Aspiration, established in 2013 by 2 Harvard alumni, Andre Cherney, who holds the record as the youngest White House speechwriter in American history, and Joe Sandberg, a private equity mogul who accrued wealth through businesses like Blue Apron. Aspiration marketed itself as the eco-friendly substitute for conventional banking. The company's approach was strikingly straightforward and remarkably potent from a promotional perspective. With each purchase, Aspiration took steps to plant trees, effectively offsetting the carbon footprint of their customers and allowing them to take pride in their positive environmental contributions while significantly boosting the company's profits. Imagine, for instance, that you had a total of 3,487 pages of printed material, which accounted for the need to plant 1 tree. Aspiration's solution was to plant a tree in your honor, compensating for the tree lost. Their approach to celebrity endorsements was remarkably effective, forming a team akin to the Avengers dedicated to fighting climate change. Robert Downey Jr. lent his iconic Iron Man voice to their ads, adding a unique flair. Leonardo DiCaprio took on the roles of both investor and advisory board member. Drake not only invested but also shared insights with Rolling Stone, praising their remarkable stance on climate action. Even notable figures such as Orlando Bloom, Cindy Crawford, and her well-known daughter, Kaya Gerber, became part of their impressive lineup. This star-studded appeal helped the company secure substantial financial support. Aspiration secured $865 million in funding and achieved a valuation of $2.3 billion in 2021, attracting investors from entertainment tycoons to large corporations eager to boost their sustainability profiles. The organization appeared ready for an IPO that would solidify its status as a frontrunner in the expanding green finance industry. However, beneath the polished surface of celebrity endorsements and eco-friendly posturing lay a much darker reality. While Aspiration touted its commitment to reforestation and planetary health, subsequent federal inquiries unveiled that many of their environmental assertions were inflated or outright lies. The tree planting initiatives they advertised were frequently unverified or non-existent, rendering their entire business framework a precarious facade of false assurances. As far as I know, throughout my time involved with Aspiration's carbon offset initiatives, there was merely a single site visit. To clarify, I'm reviewing a spreadsheet filled with countless projects related to reforestation and tree planting. The extent of Aspiration's deceptive practices became glaringly obvious in August 2025, when co-founder Joe Sandberg admitted guilt for bilking investors between $243 and $248 million. Investigations by the Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange exposed that Aspiration had consistently misrepresented its financial status, operational achievements, and the effectiveness of its eco-friendly programs. However, the environmental deception was merely the beginning. Torres' inquiry would uncover that the most significant and clandestine endorsement agreement of Aspirations wasn't linked to any of their renowned celebrity athletes. Instead, it involved Kawhi Leonard, and the particulars of this agreement would astonish even the most jaded critics of professional sports dealings. The bankruptcy claim that initiated Torre's inquiry identified KL2 Aspir LLC as owed the last $7 million installment of what would ultimately be disclosed as a 4-year, $28 million endorsement contract. This was more than a typical endorsement agreement. As per Torre's insiders at Aspiration, it was meticulously designed to bypass NBA salary cap regulations. Consequently, I began contacting numerous ex-Aspiration workers. My goal was to uncover details regarding KL2 Aspir LLC. In the end, a total of 7 of them consented to share their insights through interviews. The documentation Torre discovered revealed a scenario of careful strategy and intentional wrongdoing. Internal records indicated that Leonard's agreement was the company's most ambitious endorsement deal, exceeding the total of all their other celebrity partnerships by over 4 times. However, contrary to the other high-profile agreements involving figures like Robert Downey Jr. in advertisements and Drake participating in interviews, Leonard's contract remained entirely concealed from public view. This covert nature was neither unintentional nor merely a byproduct of Leonard's notoriously private demeanor. Torre's thorough inquiry uncovered no signs of Leonard ever advocating for Aspiration in any form. There were no social media updates, no public appearances, no interviews, and absolutely no references to the company. For someone earning $7 million annually to endorse a brand, his promotional activities were utterly absent. The total instances of KL2 publicly acknowledging Aspiration amounted to nothing. In the end, 0. None. Not once. KL2 referred to Aspiration. This total lack of promotional engagement wasn't a result of Leonard's hesitation or negligence. It was inherent in the contract's design. Torre acquired the genuine signed endorsement contract linking Leonard's company to Aspiration, and the stipulations laid out a framework that diverged from any standard in professional sports endorsements. From the outset, the contract was crafted to function as a no-show job, yet grasping the full extent of its complications necessitates delving into the wider landscape of NBA salary cap regulations, alongside the specific details of Leonard's connection with the Los Angeles Clippers and their owner, Steve Ballmer. The interconnections among Leonard, Ballmer, and Ambition form a tapestry that some NBA executives are labeling as a potential grievous violation of the league's core tenets regarding competitive fairness. However, the narrative truly unfolds when we uncover how this intricate plot was conceptualized and who was behind it all. The mastermind behind the ruse, as it were, is Steve Ballmer, who orchestrated a perfect scheme. The dynamic between Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard, and Ambition signifies perhaps the most cunning endeavor at bypassing salary cap restrictions in NBA annals, with a net worth surpassing $100 billion, making him the 6th richest individual globally. Ballmer uniquely occupies the dual role of being the foremost financier of Aspirations, while also owning the franchise that employs its highest-paid covert endorser. The series of occurrences illustrates a meticulously planned progression that would eventually trigger alarm bells in the NBA's investigative procedures. In August 2021, Leonard secured a 4-year extension worth $176 million with the Clippers, which seemed to be a conventional maximum deal. A mere month later, Ballmer initiated a pivotal action that would underpin the whole operation. Following that, in September, it was revealed that Steve Ballmer commenced construction on the Intuit Dome, marking the creation of the most costly NBA venue ever built. In September 2021, Ballmer initiated the construction of the Intuit Dome while revealing Aspirations as a founding partner in a $300 million, 23-year sponsorship agreement. This sponsorship was not ordinary. It was framed as a collaboration that would establish the Intuit Dome as the most eco-friendly arena globally, echoing Ballmer's vocal support for environmental initiatives. However, a critical aspect of this narrative emerged from Torre's investigation. In November 2021, just 2 months post Ballmer's significant investment in Aspiration and the announcement of their partnership with the Clippers, Leonard registered KL2 Aspire LLC with California state authorities. This timeline was intentional, laying the groundwork for what insiders at Aspiration later characterized as a strategic maneuver to sidestep salary cap regulations. The endorsement deal of Leonard, uncovered by Torre in his investigation, reveals a carefully crafted scheme aimed at maximizing financial rewards with minimal commitments. The 4-year $28 million deal, effective April 1, 2022, featured unique provisions that rendered it nearly impossible for Leonard to violate the agreement, regardless of his actual workload. Essentially, no effort was required on his part. Each key performance indicator included a built-in escape clause, so they weren't genuinely significant drivers in the KPIs. The language of the contract was remarkably lenient, resembling a guaranteed payment arrangement rather than a standard endorsement contract. Leonard was given exclusive authority to oversee and approve all content and its dissemination, allowing him to reject any promotional initiatives from Aspiration without facing consequences. Another provision indicated that Leonard had the option to refuse any company actions he felt were at odds with his personal convictions. During Torre's inquiry, David Sampson, the ex-president of the Miami Marlins and a sports contract specialist, examined the agreement and was taken aback by his findings. The contract mandated that Leonard only needed to endorse 50 items upon request, engage in 5 organic social media posts, and share a single photo each month throughout the NBA season. These were minimal obligations that Leonard never actually met. You might be curious about how many likes and retweets are needed to start. Is it nothing? Naturally, it's nothing. Can you believe it? He did absolutely zilch. He genuinely accomplished nothing at all. Yet, arguably the most telling element of the contract lay within the termination clause, which unveiled the underlying dynamics of this agreement. The endorsement could be nullified if Leonard ceased to be part of the team for any reason, directly linking the payments to his ongoing role with the Clippers. This wording essentially revealed that the arrangement didn't hinge on Leonard's individual marketability or personal brand, but rather on his identity as a Clippers player. The financial structure behind this plan was both sophisticated and revealing in its plainness. Ballmer funneled $50 million of his personal funds into potential through his LLC, Polpat, a sum that became vital for the firm to support Leonard's substantial contract. This funding formed part of a larger $315 million investment campaign, which set Aspiration's worth at $2.3 billion back in December 2021. Just weeks following that announcement, former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer, celebrated as an exceptional investor for over 2 decades, partnered with Oak Tree Capital Management to channel $315 million into Aspiration, firmly establishing its valuation at $2.3 billion. As stated in Torre's 7 sources inside Aspirations, Ballmer's substantial financial input enabled the firm to meet Leonard's $28 million contract obligations. A former employee of Aspiration, who requested anonymity due to current federal probes, shared critical insights about the deal's actual intentions and internal discussions. This insider disclosed that Leonard's contract was referred to internally as a method of bypassing salary cap limits, with executives joking about the arrangement while acknowledging its questionable legitimacy. The agreement marked the most significant endorsement deal ever, surpassing all other celebrity contracts combined by a factor of 4, even though Leonard is not engaged in any promotional efforts for the brand. Furthermore, there's a substantial marketing agreement with Leonard amounting to $28 million in organic sponsorship, which, if questioned, is essentially an approach to bypass the salary cap. Ballmer's role went well beyond merely financing Leonard's earnings. Emails obtained by Torre illustrate that the Clippers' owner actively nurtured business ties for Aspiration, effectively serving as an unofficial ambassador and bridge for the company. In November 2021, Ballmer took the initiative to connect Aspiration's co-founders with Intuit CEO, expressing enthusiasm for their mutual interest in the Clippers and the Intuit Dome project. The network of connections grew increasingly complex when exploring Ballmer's influence in first introducing Leonard to Aspiration. Clippers executives facilitated this introduction in early November 2021, closely following the registration of Leonard's LLC and coinciding with the finalization of Ballmer's investment. While NBA regulations allow such introductions, the timing and context raise crucial questions about possible coordination and motives. The complexity of this situation is highlighted by the distinct roles of each participant in the alleged arrangement. Ballmer supplied the investment funds, Aspiration acted as the payment intermediary, and Leonard received earnings that, while officially separate from his NBA contract, were undoubtedly linked to his position as a Clippers player. The scheme's allure, from a circumvention perspective, lay in its veneer of authenticity. Its success was evident in the duration it stayed completely out of the public eye. Despite ambitions for high-profile endorsements with the Clippers and major celebrity campaigns featuring top-tier stars, Leonard's substantial $28 million contract was neither disclosed nor even suggested in any public discussion. The only way this came to light was through Torre's diligent scrutiny of bankruptcy documents that most individuals would overlook. Emails sourced by Torre disclosed that as Aspiration faced significant financial struggles in 2022, Leonard's payments were prioritized above all else. Past staff revealed that in regular gatherings focused on payment allocations, the firm grappled with its financial duties. Leonard's agreement was consistently prioritized, despite others, including creditors and employees, remaining unpaid. Dennis Robertson, affectionately called Uncle Dennis, played a vital role as Leonard's trusted advisor and uncle amid the escalating economic strain. Reports indicated that Robertson would persistently pursue payments for Leonard, with these requests being regarded as urgent. This was true even while the organization appeared to be crumbling. So, there was this call from my Kawhi's uncle. Hold on, it's Uncle Dennis. Yes, Uncle Dennis was reaching out and he made a donation. It was our top priority, something that absolutely needed to be addressed, vital for maintaining our connections with previous image lippers. The organized nature of this setup hints at meticulous strategy and management rather than mere chance or deceitful exploitation. The timing of Leonard's contract renewal, Ballmer's investment, the sponsorship agreement with the Clipper, and Leonard's endorsement deal all suggest intentional alignment among the stakeholders, despite their claims of having no wrongful interactions. This apparent collaboration gains further relevance when examining Ballmer's background and assets. As a former Microsoft CEO and one of the richest people in the world, Ballmer had the financial influence and savvy to orchestrate intricate dealings that might slip under the radar. His investment in Aspirations transcended mere support for eco-friendly initiatives or profit generation. It established the financial framework that enabled Leonard's covert transactions while allowing all parties to maintain plausible deniability. As you will soon discover, this meticulously designed operation was fated to fail under the burden of its own inconsistencies and the probing eyes of federal agents. The dramatic downfall brought about dire ramifications. The intricately woven network of financial ties between Steve Ballmer, Kawhi and Aspirations began to fray dramatically as federal agents converged on what would be revealed as one of the most audacious fraud schemes in recent times. The breakdown of this complex salary cap evasion plan has reverberated throughout the NBA and may lead to the harshest penalties the league has seen in over 20 years. In 2022, the initial signs of distress in Aspirations' exterior emerged as the firm faced significant financial challenges, despite securing hundreds of millions from notable investors. Former staff indicated that Aspiration was having difficulty fulfilling basic financial commitments, all while prioritizing Leonard's payments over nearly every other creditor. This pattern of preferential treatment would later be crucial for investigators in uncovering the complexities of Leonard's association with the firm. Weekly discussions revolved around payment allocations, consistently highlighting Kawhi's contract as always scheduled for disbursement. Even amidst the company's severe financial struggles, the question lingers: why? The federal probe intensified significantly throughout 2024 and into early 2025 as various agencies, including the Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, commenced a methodical dismantling of Aspirations operations. They uncovered a consistent pattern of fraud that transcended mere environmental deceit, delving into investor deception and financial manipulation. A pivotal moment in the investigation occurred in August 2025 when Joe Sandberg, co-founder of Aspirations and a political figure, confessed to 2 counts of wire fraud and acknowledged misleading investors out of at least $248 million. Concurrently, the Securities and Exchange Commission brought forth allegations that Sandberg had solicited over $300 million from investors through fraudulent schemes aimed at creating and deceiving investors regarding fictitious revenues for environmental sustainability initiatives. Sandberg's admission of guilt unveiled a disturbing level of deceptive aspirations. The firm not only distorted its financial condition and concocted revenue claims, but also consistently misrepresented the success of its environmental initiatives. Internal reports disclosed that as much as 90% of the purported business contracts and letters of intent were entirely falsified, indicating that investors like Ballmer had been thoroughly misled regarding the company's actual activities and future potential. Examining this compilation, how many of the listed agreements and letters of intent, all dated early 2021 before Ballmer's significant investment, are fraudulent? In March 2025, Aspiration declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, revealing a comprehensive creditor list that laid bare the extent of its debts and unveiled previously concealed affiliations. Among the debts, the Los Angeles Clippers were identified as owed $30 million due to a breached sponsorship agreement, while KL2, Aspire LLC, and Leonard's private venture, was owed $7 million for the last payment of his contract. This bankruptcy filing would emerge as the pivotal evidence that unraveled the entire scheme upon Torre's revelation. The NBA reacted quickly and firmly to Torre's inquiry, demonstrating the gravity the league attributed to the charges. Commissioner Adam Silver announced the initiation of a thorough investigation into the claims, with insiders noting that the disclosures had sparked real alarm throughout NBA offices as executives contended with the ramifications of such a complex evasion scheme. Historical examples indicate that should the accusations be substantiated, the fallout could be catastrophic for everyone concerned. The NBA has only faced one similar incident of established salary cap violation in its recent history. This refers to the 2000 Minnesota Timberwolves debacle involving Joe Smith, which brought about harsh repercussions, including hefty fines, forfeited draft selections, and suspensions for team executives and ownership. Smith and Glenn Taylor, the Timberwolves owner, had crafted a clandestine agreement, documented out of concern that Taylor might not live to see the contract's full term. This situation holds the potential to be the most significant salary cap transgression witnessed to date. The ongoing situation with Leonard may lead to even harsher sanctions due to the significantly greater monetary implications in the presence of federal fraud allegations. As outlined in the 2023 collective bargaining agreement, initial infractions could incur fines as high as $7.5 million. Additionally, there's the risk of forfeiting up to 5 first-round draft selections, invalidating player agreements, and suspending executives or owners. For a franchise like the Clippers, which is presently striving for competitiveness, these repercussions could be catastrophic. For the Clippers organization, the possible fallout symbolizes a worst-case scenario. The organization risks forfeiting several first-round draft picks during their prime competitive phase, incurring substantial financial repercussions, and possibly having Leonard's contracts entirely annulled. In January 2024, Leonard secured a 3-year, $153 million extension that could be invalidated if the NBA finds it linked to the circumvention scheme. Steve Ballmer has reacted to the growing allegations with firm denials and assertions that he was misled by deceptive practices. In extensive interviews with ESPN and other outlets, Ballmer has consistently claimed that he was duped by Aspiration and was unaware of the particulars of Leonard's endorsement agreement. He underscored that the Clippers' only role was to facilitate an introduction between Leonard and Aspiration, which is allowed under existing NBA regulations. Listen, I got swindled. You're among the wealthiest individuals in the US. I got swindled. I put money into these folks, believing it was legitimate, yet they deceived me. Right now, I can't even begin to fathom their motives behind their actions, much less the particular agreement with Kawhi. Ballmer's defense is under considerable strain, primarily due to the comprehensive timeline revealed by Torre and the documented extent of his engagement with Aspiration's activities. Internal communications reveal Ballmer took an active role in nurturing business ties for Aspiration, showcasing robust support for its partnerships while maintaining regular dialogue with its leadership. His $50 million injection came at a critical moment when Aspiration required funds to secure Leonard's substantial endorsement contract. This raises concerns regarding the authenticity of these financial arrangements, as the NBA's inquiry is focused on whether Ballmer's backing of Aspiration amounted to what officials are labeling a round-trip funding arrangement, whereby his investment indirectly compensated Leonard for his ongoing role with the Clippers. Insiders at Aspiration have described this setup as intentionally crafted to bypass salary cap regulations, with staff admitting that the deal lacked any genuine business justification from Aspiration's standpoint. Leonard has remained characteristically tight-lipped regarding the accusations, in line with his reclusive nature and reluctance to engage with the media. However, this reticence could become more challenging as the NBA inquiry advances and the demand for clarity intensifies. Commissioner Silver has emphasized that bypassing the salary cap is a serious breach of the league's core values and has vowed to implement the harshest penalties if wrongdoing is definitively established. Corneletic. He views salary cap violations as a fundamental offense within the NBA and will vigilantly monitor this issue. Should any pertinent proof of illicit advantages or services arise in the future, the league will reinstate the investigation and re-examine the charges. The ramifications of this scandal reach far beyond just those directly involved, likely altering the NBA's approach to salary cap regulations and team-affiliated partnerships. Reports indicate that other NBA owners are urging the league to take firm action, perceiving Ballmer's alleged evasion as an unfair edge afforded by his immense personal wealth. This case has sparked debates regarding potential modifications to league policies surrounding endorsement agreements and team sponsorships, especially those involving owners with direct financial interests in the companies implicated. Public sentiment has been strong and predominantly negative, with online discussions underscoring the perceived unfairness of affluent owners possibly bypassing salary caps meant to preserve competitive equity throughout the league. The narrative has amassed millions of views on multiple platforms, with fans voicing intense outrage over the purported breaches and calling for stern repercussions. This controversy has reignited discussion surrounding Leonard's contentious 2019 free agency, where the NBA previously probed claims that his agents pursued improper advantages from various teams. As federal investigators delve deeper into aspirations and deceptive actions, more information concerning the company's ties to Ballmer, Leonard, and other notable personalities may surface. The simultaneous inquiries by the Department of Justice, Securities and Exchange Commission, and NBA offer numerous routes for accountability, potentially leading to significant criminal charges and unprecedented sanctions that could reshape the realm of professional basketball. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, tap one of the boxes appearing on your screen to explore more related content.